Hi folks, this is Rose from In Rose's Garden. How are y'all doing? I hope you're doing good. I have got just a very few beads left from my SoftFlex's TGBE design kit, Tree of Life. So I am going to put I figured I'd intersperse those in with some other beads to make a double strand necklace. Now, I've got these wonderful trees that I got from Beadbox Bargains. They're pretty hefty, but I've got a few of those that I thought we could put. The hole runs from top to bottom, so I'm thinking they need to go sideways on the side. And I haven't decided if we're going to put a focal into this or not. So let's just turn down and we'll play it by ear. As you can see, I have a whole bunch of various goodies here. This is the stuff that was left from Tree of Life. We have a couple of different kinds of gold spacers. I have some green matte, sort of like sea glass beads, as well as some green seed beads, and this I think it might be moss agate, and I'm not sure what these particular beads are, but these were gifts to me, both the strands here. So I thought I would put the two trees on either side. Like I say, I'm debating a two-strand necklace. And then we would just take the beads, the various beads, and let's see, half of these are off, half of them aren't. I might as well just knock them all off this string so that I've just got them available if I want them. Actually, that's probably plenty, so we'll put this string back in the baggie. So I'll put that aside. Probably a lot more of these than I want. And I'm going to cut this strand, pull some of them out. Okay, that was a tough cord. I maybe should have used my flush cutters, but I didn't, so we'll pull out like 6 or 7 of these. I think it would be better to have an even number though. We'll put those sort of aside. Same with these. Oops, no running away. I'm not sure how many I'm going to need of anything here, so I'm just going to pull a whole bunch of stuff out to see what we come up with. This cord is kinked, so we'll cut it off since we don't need it anyway. Okay. And we have these, of course. This is what I want to use for sure. We don't need to use this. It's a singular one, and I think we have an uneven amount of these too. Yeah, one extra, so we'll just plop it back in the bag. That'll go into my bead soup probably. So now if we wanted, we could just make a one-strand necklace, but I was thinking a two-strand since I'm going to use a lot of seed beads in it. Pour some seed beads out. Put those slightly to the side, and then I think we need to start designing. So we know we want these guys to be in the middle of the side as far as, you know, one of the branches is concerned. Then I'm thinking maybe the sea glass to start with. Then we need some of our spacers out. So I've got 3 different kinds here. Not sure which one I'm going to want to use the most. These are a little bigger ones, so they might be bigger than I want, to be truthful. So we'll see. I may use them, I may not. Then we have some daisy spacers. And some rope spacers. And what I was thinking I want to do is maybe do a triple spacer with the big one, then the rope, and then the daisy between any of my between the big beads. Is that the rope I have there? Yeah. Then the daisy. Let's see, do I have a? I think I have a pin here. Yeah, I do. So we can put those on, and I'll show you what I mean for a spacer. So it would look like so, and then whatever stone we are playing with would be like that. Then we'll go to seed beads for a while, and then whatever other bead we want to use. So I'm thinking we'll get out some wire, we'll get started, we'll see how it looks. We'll see if we really want to do a double strand. If we do, then we can get those out. Or if we want to use one of these for like a pendant, we could use it down at the bottom, especially if we don't do a double strand. So let's get some wire out and we'll get playing with this. So I got some SoftFlex peridot in medium, and I've got it, I put a bead stopper on this one side so that it can't go up into the spool. And I'm gonna, I think we'll put, come on guys, don't do that. We're gonna put 5 seed beads to start in this pretty olive greeny color. That wants to be difficult. Stop it. Then we'll put that pattern I talked about of the spacers with the small, and then the more medium and the larger. The sea glass looking one. Then our tree. Now when you put the tree on, because this is going to be this side over here, you want to make sure that your tree is facing upwards, so like so. Then we want this guy again, and then now the thing is that even though I have all these beads out, I don't really have anything for a focal. And I do like a focal, so we're going to have to think about what we're going to do here. I'm going to put on 5 more here. And then we're going to put on one of these special beads, one of these beads over here. And I don't think we're going to put the big ones in right here. I think we're just going to put the 2 of these in. Because, well, I think the big one might be too big with the other things here. So now I have to decide which bead I want to put on now. Do I want one of these? I think that looks all right. And maybe one of our little green tubes that we from our Tree of Life kit. Let's see how long that is. And that, I think, would be about right at the middle. If I put a focal down here, because I think we want it to be about 22 inches. So, still got to think about that focal. What do we want to use for a focal? Because that would be right now. I do have some really pretty, let's put one of the big ones on. Like I say, we could make a drop of one of these if we wished. I do have some extras besides what I have here. Or one of the other things my friend sent, other than these two styles, was these gorgeous Labradorite. Now these are a little larger than this stuff, so do we want to use one? You know what? I think I do. And maybe we won't, well, if we make a second row, we'll be really easy with it. But let's cut this strand. Now some of these got a little banged up in transit, so I have to be careful and decide which one I want. I think we're going to want that one. I think he's pretty cool. Or maybe this one appears to be maybe a little more green down here a bit. Yeah, it does appear to be more green, so I think we'll go with this one. I'll put these to the side. I'm going to have to get them in a baggie or something. But we'll put this guy on as our focal. And then we'll do the other spacer set. Then we'll go on up the line again this direction with the same pattern that we've got here. Though frankly, I think I would like maybe instead of this one here, another one of these. So let's take this little square one out. Put one of these in. Yeah, I like that better. So then we'll put our pattern back in place. Looks like I misplaced one of my ropes. That's all right. We'll get it in. Oops, the other direction, Rose. Thinking maybe I want to put one of the matte green ones in here too, so then it's this exact same thing here, well, except for like here. But then we would put the Labradorite like this. Let's see how we look. I don't think it really needs this one in here, but I think I'm going to leave it anyway. I sort of like it. Now I like this, and this is going to be probably in the middle, so we want it to be about 20 inches at least, so that we have this piece at the middle of our, you know, maybe just below our collarbone. And then we will keep going. We'll make this other pattern up the other side, and then we'll decide how much more much longer we need it to be. And then we will also decide at that point, are we going to make a double strand as I originally planned. So let's swing this down over here, and we will get this other side up the edge, and then we'll decide if we're going to how we're going to string up the rest of the way. So we need 5 seed beads. And then we will just go on our pattern here. Now a variant, if you wanted to do so, would be to and you had some of the check glass leaves, would be to put some leaves in here. And maybe if I do the second row, that's what we'll do, is put some leaves in here as some of our spacers. So I am going to keep going another set of this pattern up on either side to finish up this particular one, and we'll see how long that ends up being when we do that. We're going to need some more of the line, so we'll get some more out. That should be good. Should probably be more than enough, because we only want to go up about the same as we went over here. So come on, all the way down there. Okay, that leaves me a lot of line, which I don't need that much probably, but better too much than not enough, and we can always bring it back to this side. So we're at our small medium. Come on, that's a medium. We want this small. Small, medium, and then one of these green beads here again. One, two, three, 4, and 5. Oh, and these are number 6. The green seed beads are 6/0, in case anybody's wanting to know. There's one of my tube beads. I'm not sure what this stone is here, though it's very intriguing. Now we are up to where this bead is, so I'm going to do like I did here by the Labradorite and just do a small medium, and then the green and maybe another medium small on the other side, like I would if it was, you know, normal spot thing. So actually, I'm going to put a bead stopper on now, and I'm going to see exactly, give me that one, how long it is from where we are right here to the middle of our Labradorite. If it's 10 inches or longer, we're done. And it's actually 11 and a little bit more. So we are done right here. In fact, I could take off the green, this one here, and we'd still have plenty, because I want this row to be at least 20, and it's going to be 22 if I take off this little bit right here, and that will let the other row be 20 inches if I do make the other row. Maybe we'll just leave it on just so that if we do need that extra length, we'll have it. So let's roll this up here, let go of my Labradorite, bring this here, oops, no going away, and cut our wire at about, yeah, right where it's at. Now I don't think we'll have enough wire on here to make our second row. There might be enough for like a bracelet, but I don't think there's enough for a second row. I can measure it and find out in a minute. So now we're going to go from right here on this side to finish this row off. Okay, there is our first side, our first length. I think we have this a little tight here, but that's all right. We'll loosen her up some. But there she is, what she's going to look like. So let's measure that out. And it is at 11 down here, so that's 22. Now if we make the other one 20 or a little bit less, 19, then it'll make a nice second row. And we're going to want think these down just a little bit further, and maybe down even further yet, and then just beading the rest of it. We'll see what we decide on. I need to get some more wire out, and we need to decide how we're going to go with this. If we're even going to put these in, or if we're just going to make this all beaded in the middle strand. So let's get some wire, some more peridot. It's also a spool that's partially gone, and we have to decide how we're going to do this. I do not think that I want another one of my Labradorites down here. I think that would be a bit much, though it might work all right. Let's see, we had a free one, did we not? A couple of free ones. Would we look? I think that might be a bit much, so we aren't going to do that. We just want a couple of inches less as far as our, so we need a little more wire than that. Using up all these partial spools, this one's going to get low too, but that's all right. Let's see here. Maybe a teeny bit more, so that I know I have plenty of wire. I don't like partial bits of wire. So what I do with my clippers, there they are. So now we're going to put a bead stopper on one side of this to make sure that we don't drop beads off. And I'm going to put these in here this time, as well as my little Tree of Life ones. And maybe we're done with this style. We'll have to decide here. Let's put these aside though, so they're not sitting in the way here if I decide not to use them. I do want to use my little green ones from my Tree of Life kit. I have 4 more of those. We have 1, 2, 3, 4 in this set. And I want the more colorful, I think, of these stick beads here as pieces in here. So let's see what we can do here. We want, I'm thinking we want to go, what do we want in the middle here? I think maybe one of these guys. Yeah, that might work best. And then we'll probably have need an uneven mount of those, but that's all right. Because that looks sort of cool just above the Labradorite like that. Then we'll go with the 5 green, or seed beads. Put this guy in. Now let's see where that's going to sit us at as far as putting this in the middle here. I want this bead right here before it. Okay, need to put 5 on this side too. Six. Don't want 6, only want 5. Okay. Now, if I were to bring this up about an inch from the other, thinking these trees might be just a bit too much, though I really would like to put them in, but I think that they're just going to detract from the So I want these to fall sort of like this, so the green, the secondary one is in the green patch like that. No. Let's put the sea glass like one in and see what that ends up looking like if we on you. Go in. Fine, don't go in. I will just put this one in. And here. Now our sea glass. And I'm going to push our bead stopper. We'll get a second one out here. Push it all the way down, so that when I look at this more, push all my beads out of the way here that I've been using, it is going to sit like so. We want it up a little bit, not too low. And then we're going to, so you're going to go over here a bit more. Knock these out of my way a bit more here. And then you'll go over here. You'll come around. I'm thinking it might be better just to just make this a regular singular row without the cool little gold leaf trees in there. Maybe what I want to do is see if I can't find a leaf to put in there instead of the tree. I know I have some silver leaves, but I don't know if I have any gold leaves. And I could just use a leaf itself. I do have some these maple leaves. Let's see what they'll look like with just the maple leaf in there. Now, of course, because these are glass, I'm going to want to put some divider beads in here between this. Maybe one of these big ones. We'll see how this looks. I think what we need is to do that pattern here, but in a reverse. Let's see if that works good. Maybe take out the big one. It doesn't seem to fit real well. So we'll take out the big one. Put the small ones back in. Leaf. Looks like I need some more mediums. I don't know. It's all right, but I think it's too green almost. It needs something to break that green instead of this this leaf. So we need to think of, I need to come up with something different other than the leaf. The leaf makes it too green. Now where'd I put the other leaf? I know there was more in here. Well, put it aside. Now, so what we need is something that's either gold to bring out this more, or I just think this is too much if I put this guy in here now. Well, let's put it in and let's see what it looks like. I think that if I do put it in, I might take out the sea glass bead though. I don't know, it might be all right. I actually like it better than the leaf, so let's put the sea glass back in and except for it doesn't need these spacers if we're going to use it, because the sea glass and won't use the big spacer here, just the regular. So it will hang down a little lower than the other one. It might be all right. We'll give it a try. Oop, come back here, you. Tube. This is going to be a grove of trees here. You know, I think it'll work. We'll see. As long as it stays below this one, we'll be all right. I just don't want them hitting each other. Okay, we have this side done. Where's my other? There it is. As long as it falls where I want it to. I'm not sure it will. We'll have to see as we go along, see how that's right beside it. I want it down a ways. But at the same time, I don't want it going down so far that it hits my Labradorite on this side. So we'll have to see. We may need to add a few seed beads up here, and if that's the case, that's fine. So let's go on and do the other side exactly like this side, and then we'll do some comparison. Now see, my problem is if I bring these down to like this, where they are meeting here, these are almost meeting as well, and I don't want that. And this one needs to be a little longer anyway from the looks of it. Though I don't know why. It's not that much different. But so we will pull these down and maybe put 5 more seed beads on. 2, 3, 4, and 5. Same with this side. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Now let's see if that falls more like I want it to fall. Yeah, I think that'll do. Now we just have to pick up all our odds and things here, and we have to, because I think we've got it where we want it. And then we have to start thinking on, we still had 2 more of these little guys. But they will go over here with this. And actually, we could think about making a pair of matching earrings here. We wouldn't want to use the tree, though. The tree is too heavy. It is quite heavy. Okay, I've got a clasp. This is a beadle-on clasp, and I like these kind for multiple strand items, especially bracelets, because you attach to one side attaches on this side, one side attaches on this side. They slide together like so, and so they make a nice clasp. So what we're going to do, because I'm going to jump ring these onto here with Tinky Tots. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to just crimp the ends of this, and I'm going to crimp the longer one first, and then we'll compare at that point. Before I actually put the crimps on, we'll make sure that it's still hanging the way I want it to. Oh, come on, crimps, don't go all over the place. So like I say, we're going to do the bigger one first. So print the crimp tube on, pull it around. Now at this junction, you can, since this is the first side, it doesn't matter if you make it loose. So I'm probably just going to make it loose. We'll push it up here to where we need it to be. That looks good. So I'll get my crimping pliers out. I use the magical crimpers. You put the crimp tube, you'll have to use a 2x2, right in the middle of that divot right there, and then squish. And then you turn and squish. And keep turning and squishing until it doesn't squish anymore, which is right now. Seems pretty tight. So now I'll slide some beads through here. And then we'll cut it off, the excess off. slide all the beads around to this side. And then we'll put a crimp on and crimp this side. Now this one does matter. You do have to pay attention to where it's going. Oops, I didn't go through the crimp. So we have to pull the thread back out and go through the crimp before we go through all the other beads. Now we want to get gravity involved, make sure it's all falling the way you want it to. And if it is, then you get your crimping pliers out, go over your crimp tube, hold it, pull it a little tighter. Excuse me for the sniffles. Okay. Okie dokie. Now we got to get our crimp pliers onto the tube and squish. Turn, turn, turn. Okay. Now we'll cut this one. Come on, baby, go on. Cut off. Didn't get in there close enough, obviously. There we go. Now this side is finished and can be hooked on to our one side, to each side of our but we want it to be on the outer one because this is our outside line. Oop. So we'll get a couple of tinky tots out. Well, we'll need 4 in the end, but we don't need any more than that. So we'll open our tinky tot. And we will attach one of these sides to our clasp. Now this clasp goes like this, so the other side will go right here in this one here. So we will open up another one. Because I did these by jump rings instead of hooking them straight on, you also can switch this to a different clasp if you don't like this kind. Now, so there is our bottom strand on. Now what I'm going to do is I am going to act like this is going to crimp. We're going to go through the beads and we're going to pull it up. Then we'll, of course, roll the beads over to the other side. like you normally would. Sorry, my sniffles have started up for the day. And we're going to go through this side as well. See if the beads are all rolled around. They do appear to be. So now, instead of crimping it, I'm going to hold it up to here, and then I'm going to hold it up and see where my pieces are falling at. Because I want to make sure that when they're falling where I want them to be, and not hitting somewhere else. That way, before they crimp up, then I can tell if I need to make any adjustments. So I'm going to just hook them on like I would normally if they were finished. Because the line will stay in there pretty good unless I pull it out. So then we're going to go through here. And normally I wouldn't want to open and close these too many times. You don't want to open and close them a lot. But I do want to verify that this is where I want it to be. Because even though it looked good on the mat, it might not when you put it on. Oops, I got it twisted up here. We don't want to do that. Come back here. You come back here too. Let's see, where's the last one? Over here on this side. Okay, now we will hold it up and we'll see how it falls. Oh, that falls about perfect. See how the trees go down into here? You're not on the right side. How did I get that to do that? Well, I'll have to make sure when I actually crimp them that they're in the right place, because they're not in the right place right now. Because one is over the line over here. See how it's wrapped around the other side? So I will have to fix that before we crimp them. But it does seem to be falling pretty good. See? So we can take one of these and we can crimp it right where it's at, because I think this one's all right. So turn that, now turn again. Okay, now I'm going to cut that extra line off on this side. So that side's good. Now we have to fix this side because I've got it in the wrong position. So we'll take our jump ring off. Now we're going to take our necklace piece. We're going to make sure she's all gravitied down to where you want her at. For sure. Pull this up a little bit because it's a touch loose. See how we got a bag there? Don't want no bags. So then we'll pull it up a little bit here. And we're going to crimp this side. Push you down. Pull you up. Okay. There we go. She's all crimped. Now we have to cut our extra wire off here. And now we have to make sure we have our necklace running this right direction when we put it in, that it is not looped over the other one. So it has to come up and through into here, like so. So let's get our jump ring, get our necklace piece, and our clasp. Okay. And close her up. Now let's see if we're hanging right. Now see, it goes like this if you don't pull it the right way. But there we go. There is our necklace, all finished, and it is falling nicely. Because this will flatten on the back of your neck like so, it is going to pull our pieces a little further apart. So they'll be more like, oh come on Rose, be more like this as they come down. So I think that looks really good. Isn't that pretty? So I wasn't sure about putting the second set of trees in, but I think they work all right. So anyway, there is our pretty necklace. It's made with the, here, I'll put it on. We'll see how it looks like on. Oops, dropped it. Just swing it around, go through the tube. Click it into place. Okay. Now we'll pull my hair out. And there's the outer one and the inner one. Trees could have been a little lower, as it turns out, but they're all right where they're at. So there's the Labradorite and these rectangular beads. And these ones were all sent by a friend. I got these trees pieces from Beadbox Bargains. Of course, the seed beads, I'm not even sure. I've had them for forever. And actually, I got the sea glass looking ones from Beadbox Bargains also. Spacers. And the little ones like this one and this one are all out of the SoftFlex's Design Challenge Kit, Tree of Life. So since we were doing Tree of Life, we had to have trees of them. So, undo, put back together, and there is our necklace. Right there. Hope you enjoyed making this with me. It was a little bit of a different one, but I like it a lot. I hope you do too. We'll see you later. This has been Rose from In Rose's Garden. Bye-bye.